a fucking skinny neck. I ain't gonna train that shit. Look. I'm hench as shit, right? But my back, but looking like a giraffe. Okay, so in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to sit down and do the work with ease. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Not gonna stop you from anything. I'm gonna get straight into the value. 1, you have too much sensory overload. What this means is simply, if you have an image in front of you, let's just strip everything out, all right? You just have an image in front of you and think of your ancestral primate brain. Looking at that picture, you can tell apparently 1,000 things about it. There's a saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now think about you scrolling through social media. If you scroll through social media, thumbnails, these motherfuckers in short form content, hyper edited music, motherfuckers jumping around and doing entertaining shit, shorts, TikToks, just the basic YouTube algorithm. Even if you have these top tier like fucking monk mode filters that get rid of the thumbnail, make the thumbnail blurry and make it all black and white, it still fucks up your brain because it gets too much sensory overload. Now this is a term used for ADHD people, and it's not the exact term for this, but I think it suits it well. Sensory, so you're sensing, your senses, you're hearing the music, the loud, entertaining music, and you're also looking at something that's very, very vibrant, and it probably got edited to make everything stand out amongst a sea of different pictures and shit. And essentially, if you even just scroll through TikTok or even just a plain YouTube, you will get fucked, especially if you've been on for hours. But even just 10 minutes or so, it will get your brain fucked so that you can't work, or at least you'll work at a rate so inefficient than if you were to just wake up and get straight to work. In fact, it is so big of a difference after an hour or so of social media, or even more, compared to you just waking up from a good night's sleep. The difference is 4 times. Now, I got this from Rian Doris. He said that if you have a fresh brain, compare it to a like used and dull brain after like a bunch of sensory overload. You being fresh, doing 1 hour of work, you get 4 times more done than the guy doing this. It would take 4 hours to do the same work as the fresh brain guy does in 1. And that is how detrimental scrolling is. Just the simple action of scrolling, it can fuck you up, because one word again is worth, because one image again is worth 1,000 words. Now think about you scrolling once, 6 images just appeared, 6,000 words for your brain to process. Now the second thing that makes you unable to work is death by 1,000 cuts. This is a concept from Sam Ovens. He's this super smart entrepreneur guy, and essentially what death by 1,000 cuts means is every single decision you make from the moment you wake up. Oh, should I make my bed? As soon as you wake up, oh, should I snooze more? If you make a decision, it ticks down a level of your mental resilience, your mental, how do you say this? Your mental strength, your mental, mental energy. Yeah, that's the word. Mental energy. So let's say every night, depending on how good your sleep was, the amount of hours, the quality of the hours of sleep, you'll have a bar at the beginning of the day of mental energy. And as you go through the day, making decisions, eating carb food, eating whatever, and then making more decisions, doing some hard work that your teacher is forcing you to do or whatever, it gets slowly tick down. Tick, 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 tick. Until the end of the day, where you maybe come back from the gym, come back from school, you are literally considered disabled now. Like mentally disabled because of how much shit you've done throughout the day. Maybe you've been reading, maybe you've been writing an assignment. It all takes away from your mental energy, even if it's not a decision, even if you're just doing a bout of work, especially if you're doing a bout of work, it will cut away at your bars of willpower, your bars of mental energy. And so I'm sure you felt this before. At the end of a really hard days of school, or maybe if it's not even that hard, it still fucks your brain up anyways. but you try to do something else. You try to do homework when you get back home, or when you try to do something productive. Maybe you're trying to build your business or some shit, but you can't now because you're mentally disabled after a whole day of cutting your brain. Inch cuts, like a fucking paper cut or some shit. You're just slowly cutting, inching away until you're at rock bottom. And then you sleep and then it's recharged again for the next day. But then this is all about your habits, isn't it? It's all about your lifestyle and your habits on how you can preserve the most amount of mental energy. And maybe even if you get into the top echelons of health and biohacking and shit, maybe even increase your mental energy above the average when you wake up through like fucking sleep protocols, having a 8 sleep mattress or whatever it is, and dialing in your nutrition and shit. The last and final thing that makes you unable to sit down and work is quite possibly the most detrimental one. If you get this wrong, at least for me and for a lot of different people, especially people with gluten intolerances or like are sensitive to carbs, if you have a diet that is high carbs and if you eat breakfast, I know this is alarming. It's all alarming right now, right? Eating breakfast, but eating breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Yeah. Let me explain. I had the same way of thinking once before, same as you, but let me explain. The best way I can explain this is through bro science, because I don't actually have the scientific literature to show you. I'm sure there's literatures, there's studies out there you can look at yourself, but I will just explain it in the best way to communicate my point to you. Essentially, if you think back to caveman times, and we still have a lot of caveman features, we retain a lot of our caveman self, the hunter-gatherer self, especially our subconscious brain. The dopamine receptors, all of the neurochemicals in there, it's from our old primal self. In fact, every animal has them. Dopamine, it's like your wanting chemical. I want that and I'm going to get that. There's a pretty female over there, I want it. There's food, there's a deer running over there, I'm gonna go hunt it down. All of these chemicals like serotonin, it's calm now. After days of hard work, I can finally relax around the campfire. That's serotonin, calm chemical. And essentially what I'm getting at is that we still have a lot of primate features. One of them including is the carb sensitivity. I don't believe we're meant to eat that much carbs. Now, carb is the main fuel of, the main source of fuel, right? It's the main source of fuel for your workouts, for your the glucose, right? It's the main source of fuel for energy. Carbohydrates, you've heard that in school probably. And I'll admit it is hard to work out without carbs. So I do eat some forms of carbs for right before my workout so that I have a better workout. But generally speaking, humans are more built to eat meat or vegetables. This is where the keto motherfuckers come in. Like, keto diet, the carbs are evil. Yes, I get what those people are saying as well. But carbs severely fuck up your brain. You know that feeling after you eat a whole plate of spaghetti? A whole plate of spaghetti or a big carb meal. And you get relaxed afterwards. Maybe it's dinner or whatever. And you get relaxed and you're a little bit tired now. And you kind of want to go to sleep, right? This is called the famous like carb crash or whatever. And this is especially prevalent in the lunchtime hours. So maybe between 1 and 4 p.m. you experience a carb crash. And a carb crash is debatably worse than a caffeine crash. So if you just literally drink so much caffeine in the morning and then you experience the caffeine crash, bro, the carb crash is worse. So what I'm getting at is we're not supposed to eat grains. Look at the amount of processing they have to do to get a grain, a hard piece of grain, down into a soft, malleable piece of processed white bread with a bunch of added vitamins because it's so fucking depleted of nutrients. They have to enrich it, bro. They have to add individual outlying extraneous vitamins in to make it more nutritious for the average Joe that buys fucking white bread. And so this is from personal experience and it may differ for you, but if you skip breakfast, this is the fucking golden part, right? If you skip breakfast, and of course eat your lunch and eat your dinner with carbs, whatever, right? But if you skip breakfast and do work during that time where you skip breakfast and you do it fasted, maybe even with a cup of coffee like this is my own like makeshift fucking bulletproof coffee. You can search up what bulletproof coffee is. It's essentially, this is going to sound gross, but as soon as you drink it, you're going to be like, oh wow, it hasn't actually this gross. Now, what bulletproof coffee is essentially coffee, a little bit of salt. I don't think salt is inside there, but inside the like original bulletproof coffee. But I like to add salt because it helps with the starvation. Insanely gets rid of your starvation. Like it makes you not hungry anymore. Most of the time when you feel hungry, you just need a little bit of salt. So it's salt, butter, MCT oil, and coffee. Sounds disgusting, but honestly, it's fucking gold. It is gold, bro. Honestly, bro, this shit helps you get rid of so much of that starvation shit, and it begins to, if you're into keto shit and you're also into the health industry, chances are you'll know what ketones are, and ketones is just another source of fuel. So glucose from carbs, that's a source of fuel for your energy, and the keto motherfuckers, it's ketones. And you can get ketones from fasting or literally having MCT oil, which is in this coffee right now. But you don't have to have this bulletproof coffee. You can literally just go and fast for like 4 or 5 hours, skip breakfast, and from what you'll find is probably you'll double your productivity, maybe even triple. The first time I did it, I experienced an insanely easier entering into this flow state. So what flow state is, quite simply, is literally just getting into your work as fast as possible, getting into that zone. If you've ever been to the gym before, you'll know what the zone is, and that's where you literally so focused on beating your muscles up, so focused on the exercise that you literally don't give a shit about the music. You don't stop to skip the music or whatever. You're literally just hammering away and you want to do more. That is called the zone. Same thing applies to work. In this case, the zone in work is called flow state. Flow state in work, it's essentially for like maybe 2 hours or so. You can just be super focused, and it's so much easier to get into this flow state and so much more rewarding. You'll get so much of a more happy and proud effect after working if you do not eat carbs before this, and better yet, you do not eat anything at all. It's simple and it's easy and it's healthy as well. Intermittent fasting is extremely healthy for you. You can go look this up. Intermittent fasting is essentially just fasting for a good portion of your day, and that is the secret to like 2 times in your productivity. Now, if you think having an aesthetic, lean, bulk, strong body in this modern day world is extremely important, you want to level up faster, you want to get ahead of your competition in the gym. Maybe there's a Chad guy that looks at you every time and you get pissed. You wanna be better than him, or maybe you have people at school that you want to prove wrong. I have a extremely comprehensive all-in-one 28 days journey with me, private coaching one-on-one. I lead you by the hand for 4 weeks straight, 4 weeks, 4 1-hour calls. Comprehensive. And also alongside that, there is no dull content for you to consume. A lot of the times they sell you this bullshit shit for £300, $300, and they give you 5 hours of dull course content. Who buys something to get results, right? You wanna get an attractive body as soon as possible. Who buys it to watch 5 hours of course content? And so this is what I do for you. 4 1-hour calls, one hour per week, and alongside that, daily texting for accountability. We have live gym calls, so if you need me to fix anything in real time with you in the gym, I will be there in a call with you for 5 minutes or so. And I also have tailored videos on command. So if you want me to show you anything from bench form, squat form, whatever, the grip style, you can ask me to make a video for you, customized for you. And also, all of this comes risk-free. It is fairly high price. I admit that is fairly high ticket, high price, but that just means higher quality. And also, this all comes with a risk-free guarantee. You can cancel literally like 2 minutes in, on our first call, or you can cancel literally right at the end on the last call. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching, bro. In a bit.